wanted to do something completely different. And we kept dreaming, and we kept dreaming, and we kept dreaming. And today, all around the world, we give birth to something that's special.
Fired up!
We were up at 4:30 a.m. 4:30.
Wow.
Hey guys, HB and the crew here. We are right now in Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at the Orleans Arena. Today is the day before the kickoff and the launch of our Boomerang begins. And what we're about to do is do a countdown. And you guys are actually about to see when I press send with this button, this was when I sent the final wire for the purchase of our own rideshare company and our Boomerang. Vibras, baby. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Boom! When I press send with this button, this was when I sent the final wire for the purchase of our own rideshare company and our Boomerang. Vibras, baby. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Boom!
And I want you guys to know that you can use this event to change your life.
The next time you walk in any room, they need to ask you, are you in our Boomerang?
You do deserve to have your heart's desires. You deserve that, and you can have it.
This is so
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Johnny Wimbrey. There we go. My microphone was muted. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are with me right now from all platforms from around the world, this is Success Tips with Johnny Wimbrey. I am super excited to be with every single one of you. Let's take another 60 seconds to do the shout outs. I see them coming in from all over the world, but I want to participate. It's one of my favorite things to do. Terrell, Texas is in the building. What is going on? United Kingdom, hello. North Carolina, Nigeria, North Carolina again, Colorado, Louisiana, Denver, DMV, Plainfire, New York City, Jamaica, Pennsylvania, Durham, Raleigh-Durham, Jamaica, Canada, the Bronx, Nigeria, Germany, Naples, Florida, Bahamas, 76119. Oh, somebody's messing with me now. I'm from the 119. That's my neighborhood. What's going on? Somebody went way back on me. Las Vegas, Connecticut, Harlem, New York, Atlanta, Pittsburgh. I see you over here on Facebook. Francais. All right. London, England, North Carolina, White Plains, New York, Georgia, Dallas, Texas in the building, New Zealand, London, North Carolina again. What's going on in North Carolina? You guys are waking it up over here. New York City, Houston, Texas, Clarksville, Tennessee, Arizona, Canada, Nashville, Rockford, Illinois. Man, we got hundreds of people already chiming in on multiple platforms. I know that there are multiple translations going on during this training, so I want to be sensitive to all of our translators. Thank you so much for your service to iBoomerang to make sure that all the teams are being trained simultaneously in multiple languages at the same time. Shout outs to every single one of our translators. Atlanta, Indianapolis, Fairfield, California. All right, guys, we are 3 minutes past the top of the hour. We're ready to get this party started. What's up, iBoomerang? I see you out there talking to the people. Thank you for the stars. Guys, this is the time to click on those stars. If you're on Facebook, even if you are on Zoom, Go there and figure out what they're talking about with the stars every time. That we're raising money right now to give to our charity, the Boom Foundation, which basically means we are feeding children, making sure that they have proper nutrition every single day. Guyana, Norway, Skål, Norway, Skål, they know what that is. California is in the building. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this party started. I believe that I got the thumbs up. We are ready to go on all platforms. I know that I have iBoomerang staff that's going to be with me. I will take questions at the very end. So I know that as you guys are populating questions and typing your questions, we have people at corporate that are going to make sure that I get those questions hand delivered to me in a WhatsApp chat. So if everything is good to go, I am good to go. If you guys are good to go, okay, just got the heads up. And, you know, normally, you know, when I do a training, when I want to talk about, you know, success tips, I do my best to keep in mind that there was a time that I was starting from scratch. And that's the conversation that I want to start out with you to understand that, you know, we all started one day. I didn't start in a better position than you're starting. As a matter of fact, it's probably I started in a worse position because I couldn't pay my bills when I started home-based businesses. I was about to lose my cars, about to lose my home. And I was just in a situation where I needed something different. And it was something like this. It was a training like this. It was having access to the top level leaders and listening to what they had to teach. And whether, you know, depending on what he or she was teaching, I would absolutely do it. Now, the first thing I want to tell you is it's so easy for you to convince yourself that you want to be successful. But I want you to understand something. That does not make you unique. Everybody, even people who don't admit it, they want to be successful. People want increase in their life. And saying increase is just basically saying, I recognize the fact that there's more in life that I have not achieved yet that's still possible for me to achieve. And if I were to ask you, you know, my mentor, Les Brown, asked this question all the time. He said, if you had your life to do over again, what would you do different? What would you pay attention to differently? I remember hearing a quote when I was 25 years old that really, you know, rocked the very foundation of my soul. And that was 20 years ago. It was a really magical year for me, 25, because 25 is when I really started having access to people who were successful that wanted to help me become successful. So you can have access to successful people that don't want you to become successful. Well, that's not the access that I'm talking about. That would be having access to someone who wants you to serve them. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I've served. I wanted to have access to people who wanted me to be successful just like they're successful. And that's what this industry did for me. And somebody said something to me at 25 years old, and it just kind of changed the way I thought. And he said that by the time you're 25 years old, now this was a study back 20 years ago, so I can only imagine what it is right now with technology and all that is in place right now. He said that by the time you're 25 years old, studies show that you have already passed up the opportunity to become a millionaire at least twice. That was 20 years ago. Now I can think of things that have happened in my life just in the last 5 years where I passed up on opportunities to make hundreds of millions of dollars. So I can only imagine what it's like. So here's what I want to tell you. You could be at the right place at the right time and not take action. And your very presence had no value. Right place, right time, no action means your presence had no value. You were just there. And that's what I want to help prevent. I want to prevent you just being there in iBoomerang. I want you to be here, not just there. And what I mean by that is many people will hear what I'm going to train on today, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be here. They're going to be present with what I'm teaching. And it goes back to me saying this. Everybody wants to be successful. You wanting it does not make you special. Everybody wants it. What makes you special is when you implement, when you learn from people who are where you want to be and you implement it. One of the things that I've been able to teach my high-level leaders to the point where they seriously understand it is this. I live the life that I live today. The number, like the highest level principle that has caused me to live the life that I'm living right now is I'm coachable, I'm trainable, and I'm teachable. And that has made me unstoppable. I'm coachable, trainable, and teachable. It's made me unstoppable. Why? Because I'm smart enough to know that I'm not smart enough to know everything. So I surround myself around the thinking that outthinks me. Now, here's the caveat. I don't follow parked cars. I follow people who are moving, who are making things happen. So I believe that a lot of times in life, when you feel like your success track is being interrupted, is because you stopped following something that was moving and you got behind a parked car. In Boomerang, it is our job to make sure that as leaders, we're never parked. We're always giving you something to chase, always giving you something to desire, and always being the example of what we want from you. So here's a question I want to ask you. This is about success tips. We're going to get into the questions in just a minute. You're going to type your questions. They will pick the questions and they will send the questions to me. There's no way I can read and do what I'm doing right now at the exact same time. So I will wait for those questions to come in and we'll take it as it goes. So with all that being said, here's what I want for you. I want you to understand that everything that we're going to talk about today in the next few minutes is to increase you. Is to increase you. But you got to be honest with yourself through the whole thing. Be honest with yourself. Are you being the leader that you would want to follow? Now, that's a very serious question. We are ending the month of May 2020. We are experiencing growth in a way that is unexplainable. And when I say unexplainable, I can't figure it out. I think I know why, but the truth is I can't figure it out. I can't figure out why so many companies are struggling right now. But we're in a vertical climb. I believe it's because of the heart of our CEO, the heart of our chief giving officer, the heart of all of our executives, the heart of the global ambassador, the master ambassador, Mr. Edward Haynes. I believe it's the heart of our leadership that cares about people. I believe it's because, our founder and CEO constantly pours in to the company with stimulus packages to the field because of everything that's going on in the world. But here we are ending May 2020 as we're going into June. And that's what we're talking about today. How do you end with a bang, with the expectation of a bigger boom for the month of June? How do you end month May with a bang, with the anticipation that June will be a greater boom? That's what we're going to talk about. How you finish this month will be absolutely 100% directly related to your month of what happens in June. The human mind says, on the first day of the month, I'm going to work. But that's not what champions say. Champions don't prepare to prepare. When you prepare to prepare, another word for that is procrastination. Procrastination is the death of production. So when you prepare to prepare, that's procrastination. Procrastination is the death of production. This whole call is called success tips. Success is production. Where there is no production, there is no success. So how can I give you tips on how to be successful if I don't teach you how to be productive? Preparing to prepare is procrastination, and procrastination is the death of production. What do I mean by that? If you want June to be massive for you, you have to start now. Procrastinators say things like, I'm going to start a diet on the first of the month. That is an indication of someone who's a procrastinator. I'm going to quit smoking on January 1st. That's an indication for somebody like me who's a champion. I see myself as a champion. You can't say those kind of words to someone like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is a champion. You can't say on the first of the month, I'm going to start my diet. Champions don't understand that, because a champion will say, why would you wait to become better? Why would you wait to become productive? If you really feel like you're going to implement this in your life and you have this feeling, this burning desire to implement it, why not implement it while you have that feeling? Not preparing to prepare to manufacture a feeling later. Most people fail in life because they extend the preparation. Preparing to prepare is procrastination. And procrastination is the death of production. So I want to challenge you to start right now. Now, before I jump into your questions, and I'm getting questions coming through, I got 5 questions that I'm going to run through. When I say run through, we're going to have some fun with it. I want to kind of bend your ear just a little bit before we jump into the questions. How serious are you about this? What do you want iBoomerang to turn into for you and your family, for you and your friends, for you and your team? Seriously, what do you want iBoomerang to bring in your life in the next 30 days? See, when you talk to yourself like this, it causes you to think action. If I ask you, what do you want iBoomerang to produce in your life in the year 2020? You automatically have room to procrastinate. But if I say in the next 30 days, that means you have to start today. And be honest with yourself. Don't lie to you. The worst thing that you could do in this business is lie to you. What do you really desire? What is your burning desire for iBoomerang to bring into your life in the next 30 days? See, now we have something to work with. Now the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to participate in your own rescue? See, when I ask you, what do you want in the next 30 days? I'm saying, what do you want to get rescued from? Maybe you want to put your children in private school and you want iBoomerang to pay for private school. That's rescuing your kids from public education. It's your definition, not mine. But whatever you want to use iBoomerang to rescue you from, you absolutely must start it today and have that goal and that game plan of where you're headed. So I'm in business. And if you're going to listen to me right now, listen, if you really, truly want people to take you serious about this business, be serious to you first. You can't come to me and convince me how serious you are about iBoomerang when you can't even convince yourself that you're serious. If you want people to follow you, if you want people to feel your energy when you're talking about this opportunity, let them understand your posture and the way you bring it to them, because you're all in. When you talk to people, can they hear that you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out? When you talk to people about iBoomerang, are they sensing a little bit of desperation because you're not all the way committed to what you say you want out of iBoomerang? See, when you talk to me, there's no question. I am committed. Now, listen, my dreams, my goals are out of this world. I have never made $1 million a month in network marketing. And I know some people, your head just exploded. But I'm following somebody who has done that. His name is Mr. Holton Buggs. I'm following somebody who averaged $1 million a month as a distributor in the field. And an average of 10 years, he averaged $1 million a month in commissions. That's my CEO. That's who I'm following, because that's what I desire. I don't follow parked cars. I don't follow theories. I follow proven, documented success stories that can show me how to do what they've done. Not what they desire to do, show me how to do what they've done. So when somebody tells me, I want to make $10,000 a month in iBoomerang, I'm like, that is totally possible, because I'm seeing it done right now with people in my organization. So I know it's possible. So you're asking somebody who's qualified to show you how to do it because I've done it. Who are you asking and getting advice from? And have you inspected what you expected? See, if people are guiding you, even leaders of iBoomerang, they're guiding you. What is their rank? What have they accomplished? Are they qualified to motivate you to go to where you say you want to go in this business? But how can they do it if they haven't done it themselves? Are you following a parked car? It doesn't mean they're not qualified in the future. They're just not qualified right now. So that's why I follow Edwin Haynes. That's why I follow Holton Buggs. They are where I want to be. So I follow them. Do I listen to people who are my team? Absolutely, I do. But it's hard for me to listen to someone who's training me on a topic that they never accomplished. So I'm saying this, plug into people who aren't parked, that look like, that have it, that has achieved it, so they can help you get to where you're going. So with all that being said, I'm not just an iBoomerang. iBoomerang's inside me. How is that possible? How do you create that mindset that when you're speaking to people, your posture is so strong because you are the message that you bring? Find me someone who runs a lemonade stand. If they're not ordering lemons every day, they're going out of business. Find me someone who, owns a taco stand. If they don't have the daily supplies to make new tacos every day, they're going out of business. I'm a businessman that builds iBoomerang. It's not iBoomerang who builds the businessman. I'm a businessman that builds iBoomerang. Can it happen the other way? Yes. But I prefer it to happen this way. Why? I got to be the message that I bring. And I'm going to share some examples with you of what I mean by that. Right now, we're ending the end of the month. I am working right now harder than I was working a week ago. Why? We're ending the month. The way I want my month to start is directly related to how I want my month to end. So I know the importance of the next 5 days of May in order for me to have my extraordinary June. See, I expect June to be bigger than my May. I expect June to be bigger than my April. And the only way that's going to happen is if I play all the way out to the last hour of May. You're in business, right? You're serious about iBoomerang, right? So my question to you is, when's the last time you invested in your business? If you can't operate a lemonade stand without lemons, how are you operating iBoomerang without boomerangs? How many boomerangs do you have right now available for another customer? 5? Well, that tells me you're not serious about the business. I'm not saying you can't be successful. You can build an organization, but you don't have enough inventory to stay in business. Now I'm talking to you like an entrepreneur. In any business that you're in, when you start going low on inventory, you're in risk of going out of business. You have to program yourself to think that way in iBoomerang. At every moment, as a matter of fact, I want you guys to take screenshots. If you're bold enough to do it, take a screenshot and tag me at Wimbrey. Just tag me. How many boomerangs do you have in your account? I can show you my account right now. In my boomerang account right now, I have 121 available boomerangs. You will never find me with less than 100 boomerangs available to send out. If I get down to 99, I buy 25 more. Why? Because when I talk to prospects and I show them how many boomerangs I have, I'm showing them how serious I am. See, my posture is complemented by the evidence of my inventory. What's your inventory? Not how many active boomerang customers you have. I expect you to have active boomerang customers. I actually have right around the same amount of boomerangs I have available. I have about 120 active boomerangs right now. I have 120 customers right now, but I also have over 100 boomerangs available right now, available to the next customer. Why? I have to inspect what I expect. If I expect to have more customers, I gotta make sure that I have enough boomerangs. So I have made it, listen, I've held myself to a certain level of accountability that's crazy. And I like crazy accountability because it makes me work harder. Anybody in my organization at any time, and they know this, they see me at an event, they can see me at the bar, they can see me at a water park. I don't care where it is, anywhere in the world. At any moment, they can ask me, Johnny, show me how many boomerangs you have available. And anytime anybody in my organization catches me with less than 100 boomerangs available in inventory, not customers, not active customers, in inventory available to send out. If I don't have 100 available, I give them a $100 US bill. That's how serious I am about my business. That's accountability. So I ask you a question. How serious are you about this? Anybody can say they're serious. Anybody can say they want to be successful, but saying it is not enough. Everybody wants to be successful. Where's your evidence? Show me someone who's really serious about a lemonade stand. I'll show you someone who never runs out of lemons. They're always reinvesting in lemons. When's the last time you reinvested in your business? If you're coach class, why aren't you business by now? That's reinvesting in your business. It's showing yourself that you're serious, which creates a new posture inside you. So when you talk to people, you're talking with a different level of posture because you're constantly reinvesting in your business. If you're business class and you've been business class for 90 days, why haven't you upgraded to first class? Psychologically, when you talk to people, you're saying, I'm not serious without ever even saying it. See, when you have the posture to be able to talk to people that you're constantly reinvesting into your business, every month I get new boomerangs. I will never have less than 100 boomerangs available for 100 customers at all times. Why? I reinvest in my business. So that's the training I have for you today before I jump into the questions. How serious are you about this? If you're serious, take a screenshot, post it on social media, tag me. I would love to celebrate the fact that you re-upped and reloaded more boomerangs today because you're a real business person. See, here's the great thing about being an iBoomerang. We don't really have an inventory that we have to put in our garage. We don't have any inventory that we have to order every month to supply our customers. The Prib does all that for us. The bad part is you don't buy any new inventory because there's nothing to buy. That's the lazy mindset that it could create if you're not careful. You don't want to create that mindset. Your boomerangs that you reload every month. I know people who reload boomerangs every week because they're constantly activating new boomerangs. That's somebody who is in a real business. So I ask you a question again. Is iBoomerang real for you? Is this a real business for you? If you haven't reinvested in your business since you joined, I question if it's real for you. I'm just being honest. You know, iron sharpens iron. My favorite book says iron sharpens iron. I build leaders. And the way I build leaders is I'm real with them. I'm honest with them. I really have a desire and a passion for every single one of my leaders to be walking around with $1 million ring one day from iBoomerang. I really have a desire to have that. I really have a desire. And in order for me to create that, I got to talk to them like they're leaders. So since they invited me to do the training today, I'm talking to you like you're one of my leaders. How serious are you about iBoomerang? And where's the evidence? The evidence is when we can see you reinvesting in your business. This is the day to get more boomerangs. This is the day to upgrade. Why? Because you're serious about your business. Well, Johnny, I'm going to wait till the first of the month. Well, that's preparing to prepare to show yourself you're serious. Preparing to prepare is procrastination. Procrastination is the death of production. If you don't have the means to do it, I understand now. But if you have the means to do it, why are you not reinvesting in your business and you call yourself a business person? And if you're a business person, people will follow you. If they're not following you, maybe they know you're not a real business person. Let them see you reinvesting in your business. I take screenshots of my boomerangs because I want all of my customers to see that I'm ordering new boomerangs. Why? Because it shows them I'm serious. I do things like this not to recruit people, but to convince myself that I'm serious, which makes me come across more serious when I'm talking about iBoomerang. So with all that being said, let's get started. I appreciate the questions that are coming through right now. Question number one, and I'll get through as many as I can. Question number one, Am I reading these? Yes, I'm reading these. Okay. What do you do with a prospect who says they want to join, but always falls short of making the final commitment? Well, they don't really want to join. If somebody tells you they want to join and they never follow through, they're scared to tell you no. That's it. They're just scared to say no to you. So they'll say, I'm going to join. What I would do with someone like that is I would have an open heart conversation with them. And here's an example. Listen, I know that you told me you're going to join, but you haven't. Can you please just share with me the real reason? This is between me and you. What's the real reason you haven't joined yet? Oh, no, I'm going to join. I promise you I'm going to join. I know you said that before. I'm asking you, why haven't you joined yet so I can understand? Sometimes when you ask questions, you get the answers. I can't give you the answer for why someone's waiting to join. They have the answer, not me. So be authentic with people. Be honest. Don't talk to them like you're their boss. Hey, I thought you said you're going to join. Well, now you're giving me a reason to think, do I really want to be on this person's team? I don't want that kind of negative energy coming to me. I want to start a business, but maybe not with you. So one or two things. They don't want to join you, or they're scared of you. They're just scared to tell you the truth. So just sit down, have an honest conversation with them over the phone, on Zoom, where you can see each other's eyes, face to face, whatever it is, and just ask them, can I ask you a question? Always get permission. Do you mind if I ask you an honest question? And just wait. If they say no, just thank you. I appreciate your honesty. I want to ask it. Most of the time, 99% of the time, people say, yeah, sure. Why haven't you joined yet? I know you're interested. Your interest reminds me of my interest when I saw it. But the only difference is I joined. Why haven't you joined yet? You see what I did? I made myself common with them. Your interest level reminded me of my interest level when I saw this for the first time. But the only difference between you and I is I actually joined. Why haven't you joined yet? You'll be amazed if you just ask the question. Number two, what's your daily routine? It's a really bad question to ask me. What's your daily routine and what advice would you give someone for a better routine? You can ask my wife. I wake up every day like a sniper looking for an increase. Picture a sniper with a gun. A sniper's job is to find the target. That's their only job. That's how I wake up every day. I'm looking for my new target. And this may sound crazy to you, but I'm in a non-stop, perpetual position for increase. Every day I have to increase in something. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, I've got to create increase every day in my life and in the lives of other human beings. Well, Johnny, don't you have a daily routine? No, that's not my personality type. A daily routine would discourage the heck out of me. You got to know your personality type. My personality type, if you put a calendar in front of me, I'm going to think you just gave me a job. Now, you got to realize I have not worked for anybody since I was 19 years old. I haven't had a job since I was 19. So a routine to me, it's just not my language. However, if it's your language, let's say you have a full-time job, you work 40 hours a week, you got 3 kids, you're married. Okay, that's going to require a routine of some sort. So you may say, Johnny, how can I create a routine in iBoomerang when I have very little time? So I'm going to kind of switch the question around to make it make more sense based on all personalities. A routine can simply be, I am going to commit 4 hours a week to iBoomerang. And that can be your routine. You have to commit 4 hours a week to iBoomerang. Can you build a successful business in iBoomerang working 4 hours a week? If you have a full-time job, you're a full-time parent, you have a full-time life, 4 hours a week is enough. A.L. Williams wrote a book called All You Can Do Is All You Can Do. And all you can do is enough. All you can do is all you can do. And all you can do is enough. So if you have 4 hours a week and you find 4 other people who have 4 hours a week, now you have 16 hours a week in your team working. Actually, it would be 20. Or what did I say? 4 hours? It'd be like 18 hours a week. You see what I'm saying? I'm sorry, 20 hours a week. I knew something was wrong in my head. So you multiply the hours that you can work by bringing other individuals in who can work the same amount of hours or more. Like while I'm talking to you right now, like literally right now, while I'm talking to you on the Zoom, there's over 1,000 hours a day working in my team. I don't have 1,000 hours. Nobody has 1,000 hours in one day. But I have enough ambassadors out there that makes it over 1,000 hours a day working in iBoomerang. So that's how you want to think. What is your routine? Your routine needs to be creating a team that's working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even though you only have 4 hours to put into it. You get 4 who get 4, that's 16. It multiplies again. Now you're in the hundreds of hours. That's how you want to think. It's not about your routine. It's your routine that gets you to a bigger routine on a global basis. That's how you want to think about it. Okay. Question number 3. What's a way to motivate my team during these uncertain times? You be motivated. It's never your job to motivate your team. I know, like, oh my God, Johnny's a motivational speaker. What did he just say? Listen to me. It is not my job to motivate my people. It's not my job to motivate my team. It's my job to be motivated. And if I'm motivated, everything I do is going to motivate them. So when you ask the question, how do I motivate my team? What I hear is, how do I get my team to go to work for me? That's not the right attitude. You give them something to follow because you're motivated. I don't slow down to motivate my team. I just stay motivated myself. You heard what I just said? How do I motivate my team? Is I stay motivated myself. I don't slow down to motivate my team. I speed up, which motivates my team. I give them something to follow by being motivated. Well, Johnny, how do I be motivated? You just be motivated. You're always having new people on the presentations. You're always being seen welcoming a new member. You're always being seen welcoming somebody who's not even in your team and congratulating them. You're always being seen celebrating, congratulating, or bringing new people in. That's going to motivate your people because they see you doing motivational stuff. So it's never your job to motivate your team. It's only your job to motivate you. It's your job to be motivated so they can be motivated by your motivation. Okay? Do not make it your job to motivate your team. Trust me, you'll have burnout. You'll have burnout, and you don't want to get burnt out by getting by forcing everybody else to dance to a music that's not theirs. Okay? You create the music for you, and if it's motivating, they'll dance with you. Motivate you. You stay motivated. I'm motivated. I don't motivate my team. I motivate me, and because of who I am, they're automatically motivated. Give them something to follow. Okay? If you really understood what I just said, everything just changed for you. What's the story of the Mr. Wimbrey? How'd that question get slipped in there? I don't even know if I understand the question. Question number 4. What's a way to motivate? What's the story of the Mr. Wimbrey? Okay. I'm an entrepreneur. I joined the industry of network marketing when I was 25 years old. And I used a credit card to join an industry. And it was a credit card that I cut up a year before. You guys ever like people like debt cancellation seminars, debt cancellation? And I was a part of one of them. And I remember I was maybe like 24 years old and I'm getting out of debt. So people were like burning credit cards and cutting them up, and I cut mine up. I'm not using credit cards again until I can afford to use them. People normally use credit cards because they can't afford what they want. My attitude was, I'm not going to use a credit card again until I can afford to use it. If I can't pay for it for cash, I don't deserve anything. I'm not using my credit card. So I cut my credit cards up and I canceled them. There's one credit card that I forgot to cancel. Fort Worth City Credit Union in Fort Worth, Texas. It's an account that my father opened for me when I was 13 years old. Eventually in high school, they gave me a credit card. Credit is a low limit, maybe $1,100 US. And I cut that credit card up and I forgot about it. So when a friend of mine called me about network marketing and I joined the industry on February the 11th of the year 2000, I actually had to call my bank, my credit union, and convince them to give me the 16 digits off my credit card over the phone. And this is back in the year 2000, and they did it. They knew my name, knew my family name. We've been with the bank since I was a child. So they knew who I was. They gave me my 16 digits, and I was able to join the industry that day. $929.95 is what it cost. Put it on my credit card, started the business that day, and I made my money back my first, I'd say I made my money back my first week, and I was debt-free my first 6 weeks. I'm not exaggerating. So my story, I don't really like telling my story because it's not duplicatable. I've never seen anybody do it. I've never even heard anybody getting close to doing it. My first 90 days in the industry of network marketing, I made over $100,000. My first 90 days. I've never done it before, never had an ID number, nothing. $100,000 in 90 days. That same company is where I would end up meeting Holton Bugs later that year. So that's kind of my story, how I entered the industry. Other parts of my story, get the book. From the Hood to Doing Good. It's in there. And because there's so many people who know my story, I don't want to slow down to tell a story that most people know. I want to serve you guys so you can benefit and start making money today. But thank you for the question. What can I do to get persons to understand the greatness of the company, especially during this uncertain time? You got to be good at painting the vision of where we're headed. Okay. In these uncertain times is the absolute best time to get people involved with iBoomerang. The mindset is I'll wait until after the pandemic is controlled. That's the wrong mindset, because we are experiencing massive momentum in the middle of these times because we're painting the vision of where we're headed. I always ask people, when's the best time to get on an airplane, on the ground or in the air? And let them answer. Let them answer. They'll say, of course, on the ground. So what if I was a part of a ground floor opportunity? Would you want to know about it before it gets in the air? Would I be a friend if I knew about something this early on if I didn't tell you about it? At least let me tell you about it so I will feel like a friend. If you say no, at least I got it off my conscience that I told you first. See, this is honesty. I talk to people in a very honest fashion, and that's why they listen to me. I don't sound like everybody else. Oh my God, you ain't going to believe this, man. We're going to make tons of money. We're going to be millionaires next year. None of that comes out of my mouth. I ask questions. If I knew about something that's so early on, and this company that launched, they were #1 in the world the year they launched, which was 2019. They were the fastest growing company in the world in their industry in 2019. And right now they're looking for business partners. And most of the world has no idea they exist, but they will soon. Would I be a friend if I didn't tell you about that? I'm like, no, you wouldn't be a friend. You got to tell me. I deserve to know too. I ask questions to get people to ask me, please show me. Okay. So that's what I do. In uncertain times, listen, people are more prone to start something new in uncertain times because they don't trust what's regular. They don't trust the typical standards. They're looking and they're hunting for something else that's going to expand their horizon. People don't trust their governments right now. People don't trust income. They don't trust corporations. They don't trust their employers. Their employers don't trust their employers. It's just uncertain times. So why not start something to create a little foundation of certainty just in case, God forbid, this ever happens again? We're showing people how to make money from home instead of sitting on the couch and just watching news 24 hours a day. That's what people want to hear. They want to hear the honest truth, and that posture, when you say things like that, it makes people want to listen to you. Okay. What's an example of of when we should use an I decide? If you're new, get with the person who invited you out, I decide, or log into your back office and you'll see I decide up in the top right corner, and you can watch a video that explains how I decide works. Every time I talk to a prospect, I start with I decide. I think I've sponsored at this point right around 80 personal ambassadors. 99.9% of them are in because they saw I decide. Why? I decide works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm not the type of person that waits for permission to make money. I believe if you wait for the noon presentation, you're almost waiting for permission to get started. If you're waiting for the presentation tonight at 8, it's okay. I'm going to be on that presentation too, but I'm going to do presentations before that presentation so I can get those people in, sign them up, and they can have new people on the presentation. So I use I decide. And let me give you a visual. Let's say that the presentations are corporate presentations that we have around the world. No matter what leader you're under, the presentations going on around the world, at least 12, every 24 hours, 12 presentations, public presentations on Zoom are going on in multiple languages. That's what I call the bank. Anything that's a group presentation provided by a top level leader, that's a bank. So you are bringing your prospects to the bank. I am making money on the way to the bank. So I'm multiplying my prospects when we get to the bank. I'm not going to wait for a noon presentation to build my business. I'm not waiting for an 8 o'clock presentation to build my business. I'm building my business using I decide all the way to the bank. That's why you use I decide. You use I decide because you're not waiting for permission to start building your business. Send people the I decide. You know when they're watching it. It tracks when they watch it. And I even got to the point, I'm just being honest with you, I got to the point where I can't handle my I decide if I got so many prospects in there. So I actually have a partner who works my leads for me. And it's working amazing that way. So I use I decide probably more than anybody else in the company that I know of. So that's a really good question to ask me. What do you think of people who can't make a decision at the moment on a meeting? What does that mean? It makes them normal. Listen, the question is, someone who sees the presentation and they don't make a decision right on the spot, what does that mean? It just means they're normal. If you said yes the first time you've seen it, it just means you're not normal. You're above average. You're above average. Average is the very top of the bottom. It just means they're average. Their thinking is average. And I'm not knocking that because I'm that way in certain areas too. I can go look at a car 5 times knowing I want that car, and I wouldn't buy it until the 5th time. That just means I'm an average person when it comes to buying cars. Something in my mind, there's a mental block that doesn't allow me to make the decision on the first time around. That used to be me. It's not me now. But I think all of us are that way in certain conversations, if not all. Someone who wants to think about it, it just means they're normal. You can help them not be normal just by asking questions. I want to think about it. Can I ask you an honest question? I always ask for permission because I don't want people to feel offended if I ask the question. If they feel offended, I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I got permission before I asked. And I got permission because I thought that maybe if I ask it the wrong way, I'd have an opportunity to clean it up and ask it the right way. So I apologize for asking it the wrong way. Let me rephrase my question. So I always start with permission. Can I ask you a question? Just be honest with you. You want to think about it. What exactly do you want to think about? And just shut up. Just listen. Communication is listening way more than it's talking. When you allow somebody to talk, they tell you who they are. And when they tell you who they are, believe them. Don't try to change them. Believe them. Someone says, well, I've seen something like this before. Watch my posture. I'm going to role play with myself because I don't have anybody to role play with. Can I ask you an honest question? What do you want to think about? It doesn't matter what they say. When they tell me that what they want to think about, I'm listening to their words. So let's just say they say something like this. I've seen something like this before. Here's my posture. Remember, posture is everything. Listen, when you're loaded with boomerangs and you're always reinvesting into your business on a monthly basis, if not a weekly basis, always upgrading, always getting new boomerangs, it changes your posture. See, you're trying to talk to someone like a giant and you're a grasshopper with 5 boomerangs. You can't have posture with 5 boomerangs. You can't have the posture that I have if you've been coached for 90 days. You've got to upgrade and upgrade your belief. If you haven't upgraded and you've been in iBoomerang for 90 days, you need to upgrade right now. Take a screenshot, tag me so I can celebrate you. Why? Because I know that you're building your posture. You got more boomerangs, you just built your posture. You upgraded, you built your posture. When you reinvest in your business, not my business, your business, it builds your posture. So watch how my posture goes to this answer. And I couldn't do this if I wasn't first class. If I didn't have 100 boomerangs in my account, my posture wouldn't be this solid. But my posture is solid because I know who I am and I know what I have access to and I know how invested I am. So here's my posture. Someone says, I want to think about it. What do you want to think about? Well, I've seen something like this before. No, you haven't. You see my posture? I'm not going to say, you have? What's the name of the company? I know for a fact. I know for 100% certainty. You've never seen anything like iBoomerang because it doesn't exist. Nothing like this existed until March of 2019. I can only talk like that because of my posture. Do it again. I want to think about it. Can I be honest with you? Just ask you an honest question. Super simple. Just want to be honest. Exactly what do you want to think about? Well, I've seen something like this before. No, you haven't. And all due respect, 100% certain you have never seen anything like this before. Oh, well, it wasn't travel or it wasn't technology, but it was one of those companies, where they had electricity. Like I said, you have never seen anything like this before because neither have I. And all due respect, what exactly do you want to think about? You can't do that if you don't have posture. Posture doesn't come from reading books. Posture doesn't come from listening to motivational speakers. Posture comes when you reinvest in your business. Do you understand? That's posture. You cannot manufacture posture. You only can get posture when you have reinvested in who you say you are and what you're talking about. I'm always reinvesting in the business. I'm always buying new boomerang. Listen, it's not a joke for me. I have over 100 boomerangs on my account at all time because I need that posture. And if I need it, Johnny, the motivational speaker, Johnny, the top money earner, if I need that, how much more do you need it? The difference between me and you is I just figured it out early. I figured out early, the more boomerangs I have available in my account for free customers, the better my posture is. The more people I help upgrade to first class, the better my posture is. I don't know why, but when I see my team reinvesting in themselves, my posture goes up. When my team sees me reinvesting and bragging about buying new boomerangs, my posture goes up. There's something about posture that makes the difference in these conversations and the questions that you're asking. All right? So let me get a good one. How do I start being more coachable, teachable, and trainable towards success? Oh, it's a perfect time to ask that question, or a perfect time for me to read it. How do I start being more coachable, teachable, and trainable towards success? Can Can I be honest with you? See, I always ask a question. Can I shoot you straight? Somebody type me. Do I have permission to be honest right now? And not honest. Do I have permission to be firm? I'm going to answer very firmly. If you want to be coachable, trainable, and teachable, stop lying to yourself. If I have given you anything, and I'm looking for something right now. Hold on one second. Yes. I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I want to make a point. So I'm in trouble because this is one of my flyers. Oh, I feel bad. I can't do it on this one. Hold on. Here we go. So this is a piece of paper. If you want to be coachable, trainable, and teachable, here's what you can never do. You can't cut corners. That's a corner that's been cut. Okay? So you say, I want to be a black diamond like Johnny. I want to be a multi-million-dollar producer like Johnny. But I'm not going to buy more boomerangs. I have boomerangs. Why would I buy more? You just cut a corner. I want to be a top money earner like Martha, but I don't have time to get on all these Zooms. You just cut a corner. I'm going to be successful in iBoomerang, but I'm not going to any of these events. You just cut a corner. I like iBoomerang. I love the iGo platform, but I'm going to book on another venue because my family benefits if I book over here. You just cut a corner. You've got to be the message that you bring. You got to be 100% building and benefiting the iBoomerang platform. Every time you cut a corner, you're not coachable. You're not trainable. You're not teachable, which means you'll never be unstoppable. The only thing that you're stopping is your production, because every excuse you have is procrastination, and procrastination is the death of production. So what happens when you cut corners? You say you want to be coachable. You say you want to be trainable. You say you want to be teachable, but this is all you have left. Like, oh, no. I'm down to the last corner. I can't cut this corner. How did I find myself at this? What happened to my big old sheet of paper that represented my life? And now I'm only holding this piece of paper. It's because you cut. You became a habitual corner cutter. You live with a habit of cutting corners, and you don't even realize that your whole life now you can hold with 2 fingers when it was an entire piece of paper, but you cut so many corners that this is how you look to your prospects. This is how you look to your team, because you're not going to events. You're not on the Zooms. You're not participating in the trainings because you are a corner cutter. If you truly want to be coachable, trainable, and teachable, stop cutting corners. If I have the lifestyle that you want to live, and I'm telling you that I'm constantly reordering new boomerangs to have an inventory, because it makes me feel better about when I'm talking to people. It builds my posture. When I talk to people and I say, I have 100 boomerangs available right now, and I'm going to order more next week. I just told that person I'm serious. And at any time, you want to see? I'll show you. Never say anything if you're not willing to document what you just said. If you want to be coachable, trainable, and teachable, stop cutting corners. That's the bottom line on that one. How often do you have to be promoting this business to become successful? How often do you have to be promoting this business to become successful? It would really depend on your definition of success. I can tell you this. If you want to make 6 figures a year in iBoomerang, you have to act like it's a full-time job. You have to act like it's a full-time job, at least for the first 12 months. Because The great thing about residual income, if you make a six-figure income in iBoomerang because you worked your butt off, the next year, you're not starting all over. Your residuals are up. Your weekly check is up. And you can work half the time you did the year before and make more money because you treated your first 12 months like massive full-on momentum. So it really depends on what your definition of success is. If you want to be successful, you go hard. And it's your definition of going hard. I can tell you the common denominator of all success in iBoomerang is helping people become binary qualified. You help people become binary qualified, that never stops. That's why it's a perpetual success. If you really want to get down to the grassroots of the foundation of our compensation plan, help people become binary qualified. That's one ambassador left and one ambassador right, coach or hire, that they personally sponsored. You help them do that. Why? Because now they have two new people who need to become binary qualified. You help those two people become binary qualified. Now you have 4 more people that you need to help become binary qualified. That never stops. If you duplicate the mindset of doing nothing but making sure people are binary qualified their first 3 to 7 days, you will have the fastest growing team in the whole world. It can't be that simple, Johnny. Trust me. I'm telling you from example. The reason we have one of the fastest growing teams in the world is because we focus on helping people become binary qualified. We don't help people become directors. We don't help people go sapphire. We only help people become binary qualified. Why? It never stops. And then they become directors. Why? Because they're helping people become binary qualified. And then they become executive directors. And then they become sapphire. And then they become ruby. And then they become emerald. Then they become diamond, blue diamond, black diamond. Why? Because you can never stop helping people become binary qualified, because every single time somebody joins your business, they need to become binary qualified. And then their people need to become binary qualified. That's a simple formula that we've implemented that never stops. You want to have a huge ending to the month of May? Find people who are serious about becoming binary qualified before June 1st and help them, and then help their people do the exact same thing. That will never stop production. And that is unstoppable, perpetual success. 10, what do you say you really desire in life? What's your why? What do you say you really desire in life, and what's your why? Now this is going to sound crazy, but I'm crazy. I admit I am crazy. I really want to help create over 1,000 millionaires. And that's coming from somebody who was homeless as a child. Battered women's shelter homeless, not just homeless, tragically homeless. I want to help people become massively successful. My why, my WHY, my original why, your why changes. Your why didn't change, it advances. My very first why, I remember saying to myself when I was 20 years old, I refuse to allow my children's first memory of life be just a crisis like mine was. My first memory of life was crisis, danger, tragedy, depression. That's my first memory of life. So I remember before I had kids, I said I refuse to allow my children's first memory to be tragedy. I wanted to protect their first memory. That was my why. I worked hard to protect their first memory. All 3 of my children. All 3 of my children, that was my why. And I knew the more successful I was, the more I would be empowered to protect their first memory. That's 100% true. And it's amazing that I never ever thought about becoming a millionaire. I just thought about empowering myself to protect their first memory, and that made me a millionaire. That's my why. My why, it's the next generation. If you want to be successful in iBoomerang so you can go buy purses, you're probably not going to be successful. Why? Because you're more valuable than a purse. You want to be successful in iBoomerang so you can buy a private airplane? You're probably not going to be successful. Why? Because you're more valuable than an airplane. Never, ever, ever attach your why to something that's less valuable than you. If you're going to hashtag that and quote it, you better give me a quote on Johnny Wimbrey. Never put your why attached to something that's less valuable than you are. You're more valuable than $1 million. You're more valuable than $1 billion. So don't do that. You won't work harder for something that's less valuable than you are. Your children are more valuable than you. A charity is more valuable than you. Being a part of something that helps you eat, sleep, and breathe fulfillment from the inside out because you're giving back and you're helping children in need, like our charity with the iBoom Foundation. Go to iboomhub.com if you don't know what I'm talking about. Somebody type that, iboomhub.com, and go research our charity. Get more involved with it. If you don't have children, you don't have nieces or nephews, get involved just so you'll have a bigger why. My wife and I, we've built 6 schools in Guatemala, third world countries. We wrote the check. We paid for it with our own money. That's bigger than us. That's greater than us. That's going to outlive us. My children's children's children will be able to go tour these schools. That is my why. My why is being a part of something that's going to outlive me. And the more money I have, the more I'm empowered to be able to help more people. Find your why. My good friend Bobby Miner says this: if your why doesn't make you cry, it's probably not big enough. You're not going to cry for a jet. You're not going to cry for a Rolls Royce. If you do, there's something wrong with you. But you will cry for your children, your nieces and your nephews. You will cry to be a part of something that's going to outlive you. Your why has to be greater than you. If your why is less valuable than you, you probably won't be successful. Okay? Final question. What's the biggest obstacle you've overcome and how has it changed you as a person? Oh. I don't know who's behind these questions. Yasmina, did you leave that on the last one on purpose? All right, let's go there. What's the biggest obstacle you've overcome and how has it changed you as a person? The reason I'm pausing right now, I just finished writing a book and it's in its final editing stages. And that question is massively related to my new book that I'm writing. So it's very fresh on my mind right now. What's the biggest obstacle you've overcome? How has it changed you as a person? The greatest obstacle that I've overcome was my limited thinking. The greatest obstacle that I have overcome was my belief in myself. And the reason I say that's great, I lived in battered women's shelters. I've been arrested 4 or 5 times. Teenage arrest. Made a lot of bad decisions in life. You know, being able to convince myself that I still was worth something. I got a brother serving 40 years in prison. I didn't get caught. That's the only difference. I was a teenager, made a lot of bad decisions. I became a product of my environment. And to walk away from that lifestyle and to be able to look in the mirror and still see something that was worthy, to believe that I still deserved whatever I wanted in life, that was an obstacle. It wasn't the battered women's shelter. That wasn't the greatest obstacle. That was a major obstacle, but it built my character. You know, going 2 years through a divorce that never happened, that was very painful, very hard. But we saved our marriage in the very last hour. And that was 10 years ago. But the absolute greatest thing that I have had to overcome is the ability to look in the mirror and say, Johnny, you deserve it. You deserve to be a multimillionaire. You deserve to be a first generation millionaire. You deserve to be at the top. but you're going to have to work for it. The odds are against you. The odds are more against you than it is 90% of the world that are starting from scratch. If this is starting from scratch, I'm way out there outside the door and I don't even know a race is about to start. So the people who are on the line starting together, they have a way greater chance of making it to the finish line before me because I'm outside that door. I don't even know a race has begun. To get in a race called success and pass up millions of people that had a better head start than I did, the greatest obstacle that I had to overcome for that to happen was to forgive myself for everything that I've done when I was on the other side of the door. Get in the race, hit the reset button, and literally tell myself, my past will not dictate my future. Where I come from will not dictate where I'm going. I will not consult my past to determine my future. That was a language that I would say I repeated to myself during my entire 20s. I would say by the time I was 20 to right around 30, 31, that was my mantra. As a matter of fact, my first book, From the Hood to Doing Good, if you look at the cover, it says adversity causes some people to break. It causes others to become record breakers. That's one way of me stepping into my greatness, of saying my past will not determine my future. Where I come from will not dictate where I'm going. So the greatest, 100% greatest obstacle that I had to overcome during my journey was my belief system in myself. That was hard. It was hard to look at myself and still see somebody who was worthy of being at the top. I know I'm a rags to riches story. I don't like when people say it, but I know that I am. I know I'm one of those tragedy to triumph stories. Can't stand when people say it. I really don't. I don't like when people say that. Because I feel like when people say that, they're saying they can relate to where I'm from and what I've gone through. You can't relate to what I've gone through if you've never been there. You can't relate to the pain I've gone through, just like I can't relate to the pain that you have gone through. But what is real for all of us is we all deserve another chance. That's God's grace and mercy. God's grace and mercy is a huge reset button. And that's the cool thing about success tips. Here's a tip. You can hit the reset button right now and start your business all over. Mentally, emotionally. Some of you, you may be kicking your own butt. I wish I would have the mindset and the posture to reload boomerangs, even if I still have some left. I've never thought about that before. Of course you haven't. Reset. Now you do. Most people want to kick their butt and stay in this land of I woulda, I coulda, I shoulda if I only knew. That's procrastination. And procrastination is the death of production. Why do I keep saying that? Because I want you to stop procrastinating. If you want success tips, follow people who are moving. Hit that reset button. Start the game right now. Get way more serious about your business. Go all in. And it's reinvesting in your business is not a one-time thing. Always picture a lemonade stand. I don't know why that's what I picture, but that's what I picture. Because I guess I never want to own a lemonade stand. But I admire people who do own a lemonade stand because they can never run out of lemons. Somebody who runs a simple lemonade stand is a greater entrepreneur than a lot of you. Because you think you're in business because you have 5 boomerangs? You have 10 boomerangs? Go find somebody who owns a lemonade stand that's down to 5 lemons. They're terrified. They're going out of business. Go find somebody who's down to 50 lemons. They're getting nervous. Why? Because they expect more customers. The only reason they would never buy more lemons is because they don't expect more customers. And how can you inspect what you expect if you don't expect to have more customers? You say, Johnny, I want to have the greatest business and I boomerang. How many boomerangs do you have? 5? No, you don't. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. Your inventory doesn't match your testimony. Your testimony is, I want to have a great business, but you're running out of inventory. McDonald's, they have to have buns, burgers, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, onions, mustard, ketchup, napkins. They can't even get close to running out of inventory. As a matter of fact, you can lose your franchise for running out of inventory. Don't lose your business in iBoomerang because you don't understand the importance of having inventory. Well, I don't need that. Okay, cut a corner. Keep cutting those corners. Keep telling me you want to be coachable while you're cutting corners. You're just lying to you. It sounds good to say, I want to be coachable. I want to be successful. That sounds so good. But the evidence is not there. The evidence is, let me see your back office. Show me how many boomerangs you have access to right now. Show me your back office, Johnny. How many boomerangs do you have right now? If I go to your dashboard, how many boomerangs do you have right now, Johnny? This is me putting my money where my mouth is. If you're serious about business, people should be able to call you out. Number one, I'm first class. Let me turn the light down so you can see. Number one thing I want to show you. How do you see this? I'm first class. See that? I'm first class. This is my evidence. Available boomerangs. Let's see. Available boomerangs. 134. 134 boomerangs available. Why would you have 134? Why would you buy that many boomerangs? It's my inventory. Other companies, they're buying makeup and pills and lotions, and they're stocking it in their garage because they're real business people. And iBoomerang, we don't have to do that. But it doesn't mean I'm not a real business person. I'm always going to have more than 100 boomerangs in my inventory. Always. You have my word. If I activate 100 boomerangs today, I will buy 100 new today. Why? I am the message I bring. If I am iBoomerang, I should never run out of inventory of boomerangs. Could it be that simple? You better believe it. Listen, I'm really looking forward to every single one of you tagging me on social media. Take a screenshot of your boomerangs. Share it. Get bold. Like, get crazy. How many boomerangs do you have in inventory? I want to know. Tag me. If you upgraded in boomerangs today, I want to know. I want to celebrate you. If you went from coach to business today, I want to celebrate you. If you went from business to first class, I want to celebrate you. If you reinvested in your business in any shape, form, or fashion, I want to celebrate that. It's the end of the month. We are turning the corner for the end of the month. Reinvest in your business and watch your posture when you talk to people totally change. You come from a place of authority when you have inventory. If you don't have inventory, you come from a place of desperation, and people will sense that. Final question that was not asked. So I'm going to ask it for you. Johnny, what do I say to people when they say nobody's traveling? If our lead-in product is travel and no one's traveling, how do I handle that? Here's what I say. I did not join iBoomerang today for what it is today. I joined iBoomerang because of where we're headed in the next 3 to 5 years. And I do that. If you see me, I do that every time because I want people to imagine 3 to 5 years. I didn't join iBoomerang for what it is today. I joined iBoomerang because of where we're going in the next 3 to 5 years. I just gave you a visual. If you want to make a decision for the next 90 days as an entrepreneur, that's not an entrepreneur. That's somebody who plays the lottery. People who play the lottery make short-term decisions. This is a long-term decision. I know where we're headed. As an entrepreneur, would you rather be in position before people start, or do you want to get positioned after they start? After they start, why would somebody do business with you after they started? They want to do business with people who believed, who had faith, and they stood firm on their product. That's who they want to do business with when it's time to travel, Not people who say, oh, now it's time to travel, join me. No, they want to join people who had the faith before the world was traveling. For those of you who don't think the world is traveling, let me show you something. This is a live flight map right now around the world. If nobody is traveling, where are all these people going in Asia? Where are all these airplanes going in Australia? Why are all these people going to Hawaii right now? Go home. Don't you know there's a pandemic? Go home. Africa, Europe. But nobody's traveling in America. North America. Where are all these airplanes going? Are they going to sleep on the street when they get there? No, they're going to be in hotels and resorts. Stop allowing somebody else's opinion to become your reality. Now, I have no intentions of getting on an airplane anytime soon. But who cares what Johnny Wimbrey's going to do? The whole world is doing it. So this is evidence. This is right now live flight map. I love proving to people in the now when they say something with authority. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. You see all those numbers of airplanes in the air right now while I'm talking to you? They're traveling, people. I don't know where they're going, but I know soon the whole world is going to want to go. And I'm building as many ambassadors in my team as possible, with as many customers in my organization as possible, before the floodgates open back up. If you really are an entrepreneur, you think, how do I get positioned before the wave? A consumer says, I'll buy when the wave starts. We're not consumers. We're entrepreneurs. The free customers are consumers. They're free. They take no risk for becoming a customer. You throw them a boomerang, they activate it, they're a customer for life. But entrepreneurs, we want to be positioned before the wave. And that's my answer. I always paint the vision of where we're headed, not where we are. There's no other industry in the world that they're predicting to outdo its previous years other than travel. Travel is the largest industry in the world. Largest industry in the world. And it still is. And they say nobody's traveling. So what do you think the first thing they're going to want to do when the gates are back open? Travel. So do you want to be positioned before with as many customers, as many ambassadors as possible? Or do you want to get positioned after the gate opens? If you say after the gate opens, you think like a consumer, not an entrepreneur. If you're following me, if you're following Holton, Edwin, if you're following all of our leaders, we're entrepreneurs. We are prepared for the call. Les Brown says it's better to be prepared and never called than it is to be called and not prepared. Prepare for the call. As many ambassadors, as many customers in your team as possible, because that call is coming. Will you be ready? I appreciate you guys. This has been Tips of Success. If you love it, tell me you love it. If you didn't like it, tell me you didn't like it. Tag me so I can respond. God bless you guys. Thank you, iBoomerang. Thank you for all of you. Go back to work, guys. Get to work. Get to work right now. Reload your boomerangs. Upgrade. Be the leader that you would want to follow. When you upgrade, when you buy more boomerangs and you post it, watch what your team does. They're going to follow your lead. If you don't do it, the danger is they may follow your lead. They may listen to you before they listen to me. And you wish you had my life. That's what's crazy. Your voice has the power to motivate and move your people, probably more than my voice. So motivate them with action. Give them something to follow. Upgrade. Reload those boomerangs. Post it, tag it, share it in your chats. So you'll encourage other people. You asked me early on, how do I motivate my people? Reinvest and give them something to follow. Level up. Give them something to follow. Go all in. Go deeper. Go stronger. Go harder. Give them something to follow. Watch what happens. Watch the evidence of what happens in your organization for those of you who believe what I just said. For those of you want to cut corners, cut corners. I can't help you. I don't help corner cutters. I don't help people who cut corners. I help people who truly want the answer. And most people who ask questions, they really don't want the answer. But for those of you who do want the answer, go deeper, go stronger, play harder. Reinvest into your business today and give your people something to follow for the next 6 days of the month and watch what happens to your June. God bless you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.